Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 13th edition of the JD Edwards Talks. 13 is a lucky number for me, and I hope for my Jack, whom I'm invited today, is also a lucky number. So today we're gonna help you understand how you can create business applications surrounding JD Edwards within minutes. You don't need a fancy tool for that. You just need to plug in a solution that Jack will show you, and that would lead to integrating seamlessly your JD Edwards with, let's say, Outlook, with other applications that your business uses, but also to make sure that you design yourself maybe a business application. So let's see how we do all of that this evening. But just before that, I'd like to remind you that this is a busy week for us. So today we meet online, but in upcoming days, Jack will host an event in Netherlands. So you'll have a link in the chat to maybe join him in person and have a private conversation and learn more about the high-IO solutions. And also, I will have an event live in London previous to the Oracle Cloud World. So we will speak a lot about JD Edwards. My event will concentrate on the release 25, the tools release testing that we can do, and mostly on AI tooling that we have built to communicate with JD Edwards. We will present also the difference in today's session between what Quistor has done with the QBot for JD Edwards versus the OrchestratorBOT solution that Jack will show you shortly. But let's keep all that momentum aside for upcoming minutes. So welcome, Jack.
Thank you.
I've known Jack for years, and I think we had a great time. This is a nice picture from InFocus last year. We met a lot of customers back then in the United States, and then we said, why not have this conversation also in Europe and enlarge it to our Quistor customers. So high-IO and Quistor have a partnership right now, partnership model, and we would like to offer our customers the support after implementing the solution and streamlining the communication alongside with Jack. So you know me, I'm Andrea. I've been with Quistor for 1.5 years now, and I'm happy to introduce Jack now. So Jack, would you like to say hello?
Yeah, hello. Thanks for inviting me to discuss the solutions of high-IO. And indeed, Andrea, we already know each other for a long time, and you joined Quistor after I left, but
yes.
There's probably you need to deal with my heritage, but I think it's good to we know each other from before that, and indeed my role now is being a trusted advisor for a number of companies, but also one thing I do is the business development for a company called High.io, which is only started in 2020. And I try to help them in structuring their product portfolio, building up a partner network, and make sure that we show their solutions, because what I've always seen that the solutions they deliver are quite innovative, and there's a lot of interesting things in there which I think a lot of JD Edwards customers should see and maybe take advantage of it. And it's what we typically see, that not all customers want to use all these modern solutions, but there is a group who really wants to innovate their JD Edwards, and I think there we have some really nice solutions for that.
Yeah, and that's the idea: keeping JD Edwards, empowering JD Edwards, basically, not just keeping it as it is, but empowering JD Edwards to work better for the users, to be more efficient, and not just be used as a data deposit. No, we need to do much more with this great ERP solution. So I would like this to be a conversation with our speakers. I see we have customers from Prague, from Amsterdam, from New York. Sorry, New York not. I was mistaken. London, I meant. Last time we even had Middle East, but not in today's call. So my intention is to encourage every one of you to put your questions directly to Jack, to me, either on the chat or on the questionnaire, whatever serves you best, and we will try to answer them live. So let's get to it. Let's see what we have here into the introduction section, first of all.
Yeah.
Having a low code, no code type of solution. Over to you, Jack.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, introduction. I think, as I just said, I was streamlining the portfolio also from Height in their delivery. So we now have 4 products. 4 products we implement and support, and all these products are SaaS products. So based on a monthly subscription, running somewhere in the cloud and connecting to your JD AdWords with based on AIS and orchestration. So we don't need to install software on your environment. We really can run this from outside of your environment, taking advantage of the whole orchestration framework. Yeah, as I said, that today we will dive deeper in OrchestratorBOT, which is a no-code application platform specifically for JD AdWords. But we also have a number of other solutions, and I will quickly share one slide over those products to give a bit more in-depth what they are doing. So JDocs is a document management system, or it's storing the attachments you have in JD AdWords, not in the database anymore, or not on your deployment server anymore, but somewhere in the cloud. And this cloud can be Azure, can be AWS, where we store the documents. But we also deliver integration within JD AdWords, so you directly can see the attachments, whether it's one or more, connected to your link to your record in JD AdWords. Furthermore, there is some AI capability in the product. So what you can see also is, for example, that you really can chat with your document and the content with your document. This can be done from within JD AdWords, but also outside of JD AdWords. So if you have users, for example, on customer support or whatever, and they need to have answer questions about certain documents or certain invoices or whatever, they easily can find them with the AI interaction and the natural language interface.
So it becomes an easy query once you implement the JDocs. And I think there is, and I've seen you had a note on the slide before that the Oracle Content Management Cloud has a premium support end date very soon. So all of our customers that have licensed integrating their JD AdWords with Content Management Cloud, we do advise them to have a look at the JDoc solution, because it is very efficient.
Yeah, and we already have indeed some starts with customers who have CEC now to look at alternatives, and there is I think our product is really JD AdWords aware, which also gives them the possibility to really have a smooth transition from CEC to JDocs.
Mm-hmm. We are going also, after Jack runs through the presentation of the solutions he's able to provide around JD AdWords, we are going to look at a demo. So let's see that happening in the demo.
Yeah, I think that I will show you how you can easily create an app. And I'm just a simple sales guy. So if it will work for me, and Murphy's Law is always in a demo, then you can see how easily it is. And actually, it is really using the basis of the orchestrations.
I'll time you. It needs to be less than 5 minutes, right?
Okay, yeah. I'll do my best. Good. Another product we were just talking about, end of life products. Also, BCM, Bank Cash Management Module from Capgemini is also will cease to not will cease to exist because it's not a cloud product, but the support will end by end of this year. We already had a product called SwiftFin, which was more initially the idea of using API integration for banking. So instead of using a bank file sending across, we have like a API integration with your bank account, which makes it possible to see bank information on the fly. But now with indeed the BCM support ending, we also added reconciliation in there. So now the things you could do with BCM, you can also do with our solution. So it is really a solution where you just pick up your bank transactions with API, then match them to your specific vouchers and accounts, and then process them. And also for the payment side, that can also be done. So that's replacing the more traditional bank file, which is always also be a more or less security threat, with API integration, which is a way more secure to communicate that.
And that is correct, because some customers are looking to shift from SFTP, FTP transfers into API real-time data, and not just acknowledge what happened yesterday, but be aware of what is happening today at this moment in time. So
Yeah.
we need to be more intuitive around that. And again, it's not for the session, but if interested to see how the solution works, we can provide also short videos, short demos around SwiftFin, and maybe go into a deeper conversation on a later stage.
Yeah, we can always have someone demoing that product in more details, because it is very interesting how to see how that works with all the API integration and banking.
But I also think that we need a sort of different type of audience. We need to look into more finance people. So let's build no code type of
yeah. I think no code is the thing we want to do now, and indeed no code with JD Edwards. I think what we still know, we have full code where we are really creating the full code. We have low code where we still are using partly coding to do things, and we have no code where the intention is to have applications where we can really drag and drop as a business analyst to create the applications. And this is why we think no code would be interesting for JD Edwards customers. It's easy to implement and maintain. We leverage a standard application integration with AIS and orchestrations, and it will really help your user experience. So, and our solution is multi-channel, so it means we can build web apps, mobile apps. You can run it in Teams, but you can also run it in Outlook. And there is a number of additional things in there which you can run from our application platform. So OrchestratorBOT, as I told, it's no code development. We use orchestrations. It's a drag and drop builder. I will show you later on. And the same thing you deploy, you can use in web, mobile, Teams, Outlook, but also WhatsApp. So if you want to do approvals, for example, in WhatsApp, that's also possible with our platform. Of course, I also know that Andrea, you have a very nice new product called QBot for GDE, and we have OrchestratorBOT. So if we are comparing bots, then I think it's good to compare OrchestratorBOT a bit with QBot for GDE. And I think then the main things is that your product is an AI chat engine, where our product is a platform. We have a more like apps-based solution where you have the human interaction and natural language chat type of interface. We have a more structured interface, and we deliver multi-channels, and you have like a single channel thing, because that's also what it is about, where you have the QBot. It's just like acting like a chatbot with JD Edwards, right?
Yes, indeed. Actually, the idea of this bot came once we were here in a JD Edwards talks in November. And in December, we had the first intention. In January, we already built it. So for us, it's a new journey that we are starting to see, okay, what the customers already have, what tools they already have at hand, and how we complementary make them work with JD Edwards. And by tools, I mean, it can be Copilot, it can be Oracle AI services. And we created this QBot for JD Edwards to do certain item interrogation directly from JD Edwards, mass discount updates, or approvals. Again, yes, it can do PO approvals, or creation of sales orders by drag and dropping the PDF files that they receive from email. But again, it's not an application. It works where you're setting it up to work. Is it a web? Is it your Teams channel? That are, let's say, the major options that we have. Whether in your case we have an application we are discussing here about. So let's see how this works out. And if there are questions, guys, open up. We're here.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah, so if I go to our platform architecture, I think it's good to quickly show that. I will not go into the details too much, but if we have JD Edwards on this side, I'm not sure if you can see my mouse or not, but
Mouse, not
no,
really. No, we
no,
just.
no, okay. So on the right you have a JD Edwards. Then in the middle we have the our cloud solution, and then we connect through either your browser, mobile app, or scanner, or any device connects to our platform. But also we can run in Teams, in Outlook, WhatsApp, or Gmail also to be there. So actually you can run applications from Teams in which are manipulating data in JD Edwards, and all runs in our platform on AWS. It's AWS certified, and we have a mobile app in the Google Play and the App Store, and of course App Source for Microsoft to run the Teams and Outlook stuff. That's a bit on the architecture. I'll not go dive into it. If you look at the use cases, I think we all recognize these complaints where there's a number of screens or number of flows where you need to go maybe to a number of screens just to get your data done. A lot of clicking. Sometimes the screens are a bit old-fashioned. You have a lot of fields on the screens you don't use, making them more overcomplicated, or the terminology is not clear, how JDEV is used and how your business is using it. Sometimes difficult to navigate. Do we need to row exit or confirm or search or whatever? And not always the fields are showing following the business flow. These are typically complaints we see, and it's also we try to solve those complaints.
And I think it's not that intuitive for fresh new joiners in a company using JD Edwards, especially sales that need to be very quick, have everything at hand if possible. So it's not like waiting for today's data tomorrow. It's what happens right now. What needs to happen in the next 10 minutes is very important for them.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So for example, data entry, where we have just a simple thing like a purchase order entry, but I don't know if you use your bot, it's maybe even more intuitive. But if you have more complex things with multiple lines or whatever, then maybe an application is a better solution. Depends on the use case. Address book, I will show that later on, where we also connect. For example, you can just type in the address in Google, and we will make sure that it ends up in the right way in JD Edwards. So you see, this is like an application in Teams, and the smaller ones are mobile applications. But these are the same applications deployed once to multiple platforms. What we also can do, and I think that's something we see used, for example, on master data management or mass item upload, or for example, creating a batch of new users, is mass data export and import. So we can easily upload a CSV. Then you can see the CSV in your screen. Based on the color, you can maybe change some fields, because some fields are not allowed to change and other fields are. And then you can say, okay, process them, update them, and then those records will be sent to JD Edwards and processed there. So this is a quite easy way to do mass updates in JD Edwards for whatever entity you want to use that. And that's part of the solution. So we can also create apps for single transactions, but we can also create apps for multiple transactions in one row.
Okay.
Of course, the alert, act, analyze paradigm, JD Edwards uses already a number of years. It is indeed, we have notifications, so we can see if something is in status or needs to be approval. We can see the details at that moment if it's needed. We get a message on the main screen if needed. We can easily update information, or we can also audit drill information, so we can see what happened and which, for example, which notifications are pending, which approvals are pending. All those things is quite easy to see. Another approval example where we see all the approval dates, the approval routes. Approval routes, we can follow the JD Edwards approval routes, but we can also add steps outside of JD Edwards. So if you have, for example, approval routes where some people are using JD Edwards and other people don't, then we have the possibility to extend that to also non-JD Edwards users to work in the same flow. And of course, we have a simple mobile approval app, of course, which makes it easy to approve when you're on the fly. One other topic I think is interesting is the whole thing of media attachment and file attachments. In our platform, we have full capability of handling attachments. So from our apps, it's quite easy to integrate uploading file attachments, whether it's from your mobile taking pictures, or whether it's from your desktop in your email and attachments, and then link them, for example, directly to a record in JD Edwards. That's standard functionality of our platform. So the whole media attachment functionality is also available in our platform, which makes us quite unique compared to other solutions we've seen as our competitors.
And how exactly is the media attached to the record in JD Edwards, and where is it stored?
It will be stored, for example, in our JDoc solution, or if you have if you store your media attachments now on a file location, that same file location will be used. So the way your JD Edwards is set up currently, that we will follow. The only thing is that we can use it in our app to directly use the application for uploading those media attachments. So I can directly, if I, for example, I will show you later on in Outlook, if I see an Outlook, I can open OrchestratorBOT in Outlook, then I can stand on the email, I see those email contact. If that contact is known in JD Edwards, I can directly upload the attachments in JD Edwards to the contact. But the same I can do with for example, around an item, and if I want to do a delivery and I want to add pictures to that delivery, that's also possible.
That's cool.
Yeah, some other use case, as I said, delivery. There's a barcode scanner in the mobile app, so we can easily use barcoding, warehouse management applications for whether it's simple item availability, whether it's typically other warehouse management processes. We can run that on the mobile, whether it's iOS or Android. So, for example, the more modern Zebra devices, which are often used in the warehouses, can also run our applications because we have an Android native client for that. And the other one is WhatsApp, where you just can, of course, the things you can do in WhatsApp is limited. It is only more like a yes or no thing you can do there, but not way more. So you can see a file, you can see what details, and then you can say approve or reject, for example, or something else. But that's the main thing you can do with WhatsApp.
But if you have the application installed on your mobile, you can do much more, right?
Yeah. If you have the application on your mobile, you can, depending on what's configured, you could see, for example, the transaction in more details. You could see if there's an attachment to it, you could also see that. And those functionality you don't have in WhatsApp, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's a typical use case. We have customers using WhatsApp, but we have also customers using the mobile app for a more secure way, depending on the typical use case. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Okay. The proof is in the pudding, they always say. Yeah. So now for me, it's getting nervous.
Countdown. So you have 5 minutes to show us to how.
Yeah.
And don't make it like super simple. You know, I can't get my 10-year-old kid to verify how simple it is. She shows me how she does things on her mobile applications and stuff. So
let me first see if I can technically make available to share my screen, because that would be the first thing.
Yes, I think.
Let me quickly grab this one here, then I can share one screen. is also, and still I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Then I say share a screen, entire screen, this one.
And here you go. We see your screen, Jack.
Yeah, it's my screen, perfect. I'll just open up JD Edwards. Oh, it's already there. Okay, I will try this one
So
now.
before you start, maybe Maria has a question, like which users use the Orchestrator bot to perform different transactions. So and we will discuss this at the end. I assume this application is licensed per user that has a certain JD Edwards access determined, right?
Yeah, we every user often is also a JD Edwards user, but we can also use, for example, calling a more generic orchestration with a service user. That would also be possible. But then still, the platform is based on named users, and normally those users are also a JD Edwards user. So if you, because of the traceability, we can decide whether we use an orchestration running as a user or running as a service user. But then still on our platform, every user is a named user using the application.
Okay.
And the applications are typically, I'm not sure, you can now see my screen here, and you can see my mouse also, perfect. So for example, if you would just go in this demo app, let me quickly show. And for example, here I have a number of applications which I can easily show. The menus, I was playing around with some address book applications, for example, and I just can use that in the menu. We also have an audit tab where you can really see every transaction we did, every activity we did to really see what has happened. I have here notifications. So, for example, if I need to approve something, I directly can also see the approval information. And now I'm just running the web application. So this is just how it looks on web. If I would quickly go, for example, to Teams, this is my Teams. You see here the chat application, but if I go, for example, to the OrchestratorBOT application, I see here, for example, the menu in Teams. Now it's loading the last version of the menu. We go to the menu. And for example, now I have a number of applications here. Let me quickly go on, grab one. So for example, if I want to do, let me see, quick address book. You see, for example, here, there's always a demo, you get errors. But I would here be able to get the data, new customer name, business unit, tax ID, and then, for example, use the Google Map. I will create an application like this in the meantime, later on. So this is, for example, Teams, but also interesting, for example, is Outlook. So here I have my folder, and this user has some attachments. And what you see in OrchestratorBOT, he directly recognize that this user, this email user address is connected to this address book record. And now I can say, okay, there are attachments in this email, so I want to attach those emails to the contact. This information I can directly attach to the contact from here. So now it's always okay. I'm not sure what happens. It's a demo time. It was happening before, but probably I'm timed out in this connection. Let me double check. I had it open before, so maybe it is something to do with the connection. Otherwise, I'll just start creating the app and show you things there. You see now it's getting the contact information. You see this is the contact, and it's okay. Attachments. I want to store the attachment, or just maybe I'll just do first one, and then. I'm not sure why it fails.
So right now you are trying to attach one of the files to your JD Edwards contact ID. It had the code
Yeah,
there. That's the JD Edwards code, right? Okay.
yeah, yeah. But and there's more functionality. So in your apps, you can really see, okay, this is an Outlook app, or this is something functionality for Outlook. This would be interesting functionality for Teams, or this would be interesting functionality for other platforms. So, but of course, you can also see the other menus for my user. I can also see here. So the same menus I have here, for example, the JD Talks menu is also running here. So I can also run the application in this area. Of course, it's not really optimized for this, so it's difficult to show here. Quickly go home. This is more easy. Let me quickly try it again to attach to contact. Attach from. I'm not sure why the Outlook connector is not working.
Because you
That's always demo.
that's what's dragging, and it
Yeah.
will. But
Okay. Now the email is not successfully attached, so I will just let me quickly grab this contact number 64451. Let me quickly go into G Networks. GDF is loading. Okay,
yeah,
let me just say 64451. And when I click on the attachment, now you see also JDocs is working in JD Edwards now. So it's fetching the data because we have set up to use JD Edwards to view attachments. And then,
how did you set it up? Was it via Cafe One?
yeah, this is the Coffee One page. Yeah. Not sure why it's not. Normally you should here see the attachments. I'm not sure why the email is not attached, but that's it doesn't show here. Well, the orchestration said it uploaded it, but it's not there yet. Okay. Try later.
Let's try later during the session.
Yeah, I think there's a connection. There's something wrong with that, so I will just skip that. I'll just go to the web app back. So we have the menus here. And for example, if I want to create an application myself, I will just, for example, create an address book application. I can use BotFlow. So in this menu, I will quickly say, okay, there's a home page. We are busy with a Flow marketplace, so customers can share information. Do you see my screen yet or not? Yeah, you
Yes,
see it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They have menus. Then we have roles and user management. So we can set up users. We have connectors. So can be to customers. Different customers can be different a variety of systems. So we can connect to JD AdWords, Salesforce, NetSuite. But also you can have a connector, for example, to your DV environment or your PI environment or a app environment or whatever. So these are all typical connectors. And then we have bot flows, and bot flows are more or less the applications. And these are the applications we're going to set up. So, okay, now we're going to record the application for address book. So as I said already, we have bot flows. Bot flows are our applications. So I'll just guide you through it. So there's a number of applications already here, but I will just create a new one just for this demo purposes. Let's call it Andrea's second application. So let's give it a nice icon that we can see. This one, for example, and a nice color. A little bit this, okay, and it's Andrea's address book application. Okay, then the next step is to check the connector, and the connector is really the AIS connector, to which environment we are doing this. So quickly see, okay, we use the height development connector. Now it's using the orchestration, so it can use authentication on execution. It can authenticate with the connector, which we're doing now. and we can use orchestrations, business functions, or table queries. So let's see. Okay, I know there is an orchestration which I can use, which is called new address book with maps. So I'll use that one, and I just say, okay, generate payload, and now it's executing the orchestration to see, okay, which fields are in there to run. So next step is display. I will use a standard application. I will assign it to a specific role, which is hide admins at this moment. And I will also assign it to a specific menu. We have a menu called GD Talks, which you saw before. So it will be added to that menu as a standard application. In the meantime, you see the payload here. So I will not use all the fields here. So I will just remove a few ones, just because I will use an address book component we have also, which can work with Google Maps. So I will just remove these ones. And then we have 3 fields. So the alpha name field, okay, I will just make it required. I would just say, okay, alpha name, I would just replace with full name, and I would just say, okay, it has a maximum length, and the maximum length is 30. Okay, and then I have mandatory, so then I go to text ID. I will do the same. I will just say, okay, the published name is text number. It is also required, and the length I need to have is also a max. Sorry, the length. Where's my length? Field config. Okay, maximum length is also, let's just say 20. Now I have business unit. The business unit can be a search field. That's very specific, so it's different than another field. So I can have a search form available. I have one here, so I just quickly select that one, and I will copy that into the search form. Let me see here. I'll just copy and paste that one in the search form. Now it's loading that form, and then I see that I have different values I can use in the columns. So I'll just pick one of them, and I will just say filtering on certain columns you need to do. Okay, so I've got those ones, and I also make that a required field. So that's also the 3 fields now. Now I can also say, okay, I just want to have for the display, for example, an image. So I want to have a logo in here. Just add a logo. I can have an image URL. For example, I take Crystal one. I just also want to make sure that it's containing, so it's really having the same field here. And now I can also see this fields here and the logo here. I will have a more generic one for address. So I put the address, for example, here, the address field, and I'll just make it a bit bigger. Now, this is an address component which I can completely set up. So, okay, for this I will just say, okay, it is required. It uses the orchestration field, so it uses address line 1. It uses a publish name address, and for the field config, I would say, okay, street will be address line 1, city will be matched to city, state I will leave open, country I will just say, okay, this is going to be the country, postal code will be postal code. There's all data it's fetching from the orchestration, so it's all there. I will allow map visualization, I will allow a format and address, so to upload that in JD Edwards. Let me quickly see if I got everything. It looks like that. So now we have a mobile, a little application doing address book updates. I don't configure the response. I also don't do advanced features and attachments now. So this is the overview. And if I just say now create, now it's creating that application. It's creating there. Let's see if it's uploading the form view. We see now it's disabled, so I will just enable it here. And then you see that it is already starting now, and then I will see it directly. When it's enabled, I will see it also in my personal menu at that moment. So now if I go to the app menus again, and now we have this GD Talks menu with a number of applications. If I go there, it's Andrea's second application. You see here the form, so I just can add, okay, I will just add, for example, Andrea Istrate, but I'll give her a different text number this time. So 3000. I will have a business unit. You see here the search field is popping up based on the search firm we created. So I just use Eastern. Okay, and now here I can just add a Google Maps address. So if I just look at Quistor, Burden of Zoom, for example, okay, that's that address. If I just type submit now, it's executing the orchestration in the background and setting all the data correctly and updating JD Edwards. So you see the address book record here is 68321. I'll just quickly go into JD Edwards. If we just type in that number, you see it's Andrea Istrata here, and the address is Steenbergsestraat 49 in Bergen op Zoom, which was also the address Google Maps generated. So everything there is quite easy to show. So in 7 minutes, I showed the application, I showed the menus, I connected with the menus, and I also created a little app. So hope this helps you showing how easy it is to create applications in OrchestratorBOT.
So thank you, Jack. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another JD Edwards talk. So let's hear some opinions. Let's see what you would like to hear in the next sessions. Again, the third week of April, we will meet again. The next time will be my colleague John, who will be hosting the JD Edwards talks, and we will deep dive again in orchestrations. Maybe you'd like to know more about workflows, about stateful orchestrations, or about while loops. We will do those things in the 14th edition of the JD Edwards talks. So let's keep this community alive, inspirational, and get back to us.
Okay.
Have a great afternoon, and thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Bye-bye.